one of the most unique situations that Camp Hill Village has to offer is that we can offer people a life where something of their unique gifts and abilities can unfold.
In the way we live together here, we're always trying to help that each individual can unfold as much of their humanity as possible. And that means to really not think so much of oneself, but rather think of the needs of the other.
Camp Hill, what it really means is having people walking side by side through hard trials and through disabilities and everything. Camp Hill is a place for people to come and learn and to live in harmony with each other.
Relationships and people are the most important thing in life. How you treat people and the working together and what you're building up. It's what makes this place shine.
I get up at 6 o'clock, brush my teeth and shave, and then I get dressed, and every morning I unlock the hall. 8 o'clock, I check my watch, and then I ring the bell every morning except Sunday. I've been doing bell ringing since April 4th, 1978, and I'm going to continue ringing. What I know about living here is it's just great. Yeah, I lived in this village 28 years.
I got my coffee, slice of bread. Don't slice me. I won't slice you. Just the bread.
Camp Hill Village in Copiague, New York, is a community where about 240 people live together, and about half of those people have developmental disabilities. And together we're trying to really create community. The concept of our village is to live together in such a way that the unique contribution of every individual can be recognized and can be encouraged to unfold.
This is a home and working community for adults who can't get on living in the outside world, who couldn't get a job in the outside world, and would also waste away living in an institution and would be a burden when living with their natural families. Here we get to live a rewarding life. Well, it's a nice place where I would want to make my home.
It's a community of people sharing life, work, worship, fun, recreation, some with disabilities and special abilities too, and the rest of us who are all volunteers who have chosen to live this lifestyle together. It's an intentional community. It's not an institution. It's a way of life. It's not a job. We're here basically 24/7, but it's like a family. The family lives together and you share the good times and the bad times and everything in between.
The village sits in a beautiful valley that we farm. We have a 20-cow dairy and we farm that land. There's 20 houses. Every household has a family that lives there. Some of them are with their children. And then there's 1 to 2 young people who volunteer their time and help out as co-workers. And then there's probably 4 to 7 villagers. And this is not a euphemism for the fact that they have developmental disabilities. And rather, this village is their village. This is their home. This is where they live. And the co-workers tend to come and go over the years. But the villagers, some of them have been here for 35 years, and they are the glue that holds the whole thing together.
But it's certainly not a principle of our program that people will stay here forever. It's incredibly important that people who are here out of their own freedom. We always say that people should stay here as long as they can serve the needs of the community and the community can serve their needs.
You want this bucket?
Yes, please.
We don't receive salaries. We feel that we try to work out of love. We don't always succeed, but we try to work out of love. And for that, we don't need to be paid. However, we do need to be supported. Our needs have to be met. And so our community life is set up in such a way that our needs for food, shelter, clothing, of course our medical needs, that these kind of things are taken care of.
By spring, they flower more. When you bunch them together, you flower.
That's right. You have a nice little.
We certainly don't want to work with the whole notion of client and service provider. This is very foreign to us and we wouldn't be comfortable with it. However, there are times when distinctions are made. But in our day-to-day life, we love to come away from those distinctions and really feel much more like brothers and sisters. And there are times when I'm the one that needs help and support. And there are other times when there is somebody who needs my help and support, and that is mutually given.
Go ahead, your little throne.
What we strive for is to create a life which is beneficial for all the people who are living this life with us, whether they are co-workers or children or villagers.
You don't know often who's caring for who because our lives become so interwoven. You have those moments in the community where we are all together. You don't feel the definitions, all the dichotomies, co-worker, villager, young co-worker, child, they break down and you're just community. And you know it, and it's a moment of grace.
Here. You walk to work, huh?
About 8:45, people go off to their various workplaces. Within the community, we have many different opportunities for work. One of the principles of our life in the village is that our work is meaningful and that we're not keeping people busy. All the work that's done is needed by the community. We need our houses to be cleaned. We need our meals to be cooked. We need the cows to be milked. We need the vegetables to be pulled. We give everybody here an opportunity to make a real contribution. That somebody who is apparently not capable of all sorts of things can actually carry immense responsibilities in our community that we all count on. And in this way, such a person is allowed to find his real human dignity, his real human worth.
I'm gonna grab the bucket. Hey, David, I'm gonna grab the bucket. You're gonna grab it? Heavy! Heavy! Now what? Now what? David, uh-oh! Uh-oh! Whoa, a lot of ice. How to get this out? There's a lot of ice in there. Really full. Oh my goodness. Mom, there's some ice here. I got it. Oh God. This is such a mess. Look. Look. There. I did it. Wow.
Hey, man. Maybe she wants to make chair of my. I think that's what I can hear you. The work is very important. I do lots of things. I set the table, I cut vegetables. It's quite nice. I like it. If there was no work in Camp Hill, what would people do? Sit around and do nothing? It would be boring.
Just go like this, so it's flat.
Yeah.
You see, like this.
Like this.
Work is a very important thing for any human being. Here, everyone is called on to contribute to work, even if apparently the person can't do much. But any contribution is expression of one's belonging to a group of human beings. And the fact that the work I do is not for myself, but is for the whole, just this gesture is really makes so that I feel that I'm in a link with others. And that's really a lot of what our community is resting on.
A little further up, a little further back. Yeah. Just half a foot. And try to plant it more straight, like this if you can. Yeah, you see, you're going to the middle, you're going to this side.
Working with people with special needs, one could ask a question, because it's true that sometime I would take 5 minutes to do what somebody would do in half a day, and it brings the question, well, why? And sometimes we do it because we can't be extreme in only doing very slowly, and we need to have a certain efficiency. But the result, the outcome, the products is not the only thing that comes out of our work and life. And that's where we are maybe very different from other working places. The quality that radiates from a workplace, from a garden, from a barn, from a house, if those involved are fulfilled, if they are able to contribute, if they are recognized, if people manage to work well together, what we try to do as a village is to become like a little star that can, radiate and put a bit of light beyond just our place. And that's not through making a lot of quantity of stuff, of things that we could sell and make money with, but it's through the quality of our work.
The first, lift, don't press down. High, yeah, that's it. Gently. No, you hang right there. Levitate. You know what levitate is? Lightness, yeah. Hi, why are you pressing down so hard?
Oh boy.
Oh boy, yeah, lift. Just hang on right there. Carry, don't press, yeah? You're carrying it, you're making it lighter than it is, yeah? Yeah, ready? Now let me go into the... Very gently.
We don't have many cows no more. They're all empty, dry. Very, very dry cow. So, with very little milk left, and you will go back to, and we've gone to Vermont, so we're selling her. Getting rid of Enya. She will go to Vermont, she will leave. We will dry her also. Hello.
Good morning.
How
are you?
How are you, buddy? How are you? And you, buddy, and you. You slept well, buddy.
Really, the heart of the farm crew is the villagers. Some of them have been there since the 1960s, farming, and they really love, they are farmers, they're not just disabled people with some kind of a job, they're actually farmers. That's who they identify themselves as, and they're very proud of being farmers, and I can understand why. I'm very privileged to be working with them.
10 and a half.
Elias, he's an incredible man. He just turned 60 years old, but he has an incredible energy. He's like a workmaster in a way. He really can direct. You can send him out with a crew of 3 or 4 other people and he'll make sure that the job gets done. He also has a wonderful way with the animals. He can turn a herd of 50 cows to the left or to the right, depending on which way he wants them to go.
I got a cow called Come On, and the leading cow that recognized my voice. Come on. I've been farming for 40 years. It is a lot of work, but I do it because it needs to be done.
Világosság, még szívünkben örök boldogság, és mi életünkben nagy világosság, és gyönyörű szívedben te vagy.
We normally have 1 or 2 young co-workers in this house, and usually they come for about a year, the volunteers. They always bring something new and fresh into the house community. Many of them are from overseas and they bring something of their culture and their background. And the villagers help them to learn the ropes, learn the language. It's a wonderful flow of people. It's always very sad when people leave.
Okay, so when you pick it out, just take it with your hands out with the earth in it, yeah?
Wow.
I think that works better. Thank you. Perfect.
I did very nicely, gave it to you.
Would you like to paint or to draw? Painting tonight? Okay. Why don't you sit? I come from Germany and I came here for 1 year and I'm enjoying it very much. It's really normal that people are special or have special needs around here, so there's not a gap. This community life is a thing that seems to work, and that's what's making me happy. You can trust people, you can rely on people, you can find your private freedom within this. Yeah, it's a place which would change your life. It's a place where you can learn about people, learn how to deal with people, learn how to trust in your own abilities, learn how to be responsible, learn how to share, and learn, just enjoy community life in a way. And that's pretty amazing because I always believed in that and I never really experienced it. I think everybody needs to be hugged or understood, basically. And this is a place where you get hugged the most and where you get the most compliments. I never got as many compliments. No, I think it's magic. Somehow it's magic.
I'm gonna marry a baboon and have a cocoon.
Yeah!
I'm gonna marry a baboon. Get in love with a monkey. Right, Dad. Go these. Put these over there on. I work every morning cleaning out, doing the dishes, cooking on the stove, making my famous cheese sauce and stir-fried vegetables. The people say I work too much. Like I work till I drop. I don't like being lazy, sitting in my hiney all the time and get good, big and fat. I notice people have big heinies sometimes from sitting down too much. Everything I go, everything I do, I need Ellie for support. Ellie's my support. When you're in need, ask Ellie. She's gonna tell.
Karen was the first villager, and 40 years in Camp Hill. She came out of an institution where she had a very bad time and came to Camp Hill and learned to cook, to clean, to be a really useful person. And Karen's devotion to work is just quite remarkable. She lives to work.
I'm helping Ellie, who goes to the deli always. I'm the old timer. I've been here the longest, but I don't look it, but I am. I didn't know anything about cooking until I came here. I was scared of the stove, scared of everything when I came here. I didn't like that institution. This nurse put me in seclusion without clothes, grabbed me in the shower by my hair, dragged me in the shower, and the doctor fed me too much dope. I slept on the day room floor. That was really a crummy place. And I like it here better because I can be on my own and free. Now, in the village, it makes me like a normal person. There, everything is clean. And then we did everything, Ellie. Yeah. Yeah.
This community in Kopek has been here for 40 years, and it's part of the international Camp Hill movement, begun 60 years ago by Karl Koenig, who was a medical doctor from Vienna. The first Camp Hill place was a school for children in need of special care. And from this initial school, there's now a worldwide Camp Hill movement, which has about 100 communities around the world. Kopek is the oldest Camp Hill community in North America. We were founded in 1961.
It was unheard of to do what we were doing because it was unproven territory on this continent. At the time, the option was home or institution. There was nothing, and so what we had to offer was a life, a meaningful life. And believe you me, because there was no alternative, this was like a godsend. This was like a dream for these parents. We were thinking of building a community with special needs people. They could not believe that a group of people wanted to come and live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, basically 52 weeks a year, and share their life with their children.
Karl Koenig's work was inspired by the work of Rudolf Steiner. Rudolf Steiner was an Austrian scientist, philosopher, and spiritual scientist. He created a way of understanding the human being, which he called anthroposophy, which is a way to try to understand the human being in his spiritual as well as his physical dimensions. And this is really at the heart of the work of Camp Hill, that we recognize in each individual more than the physical entity, that we actually recognize that each human being is also a spiritual entity, and that there's something eternal that lives in every human being. We try to be a community that has a good balance between our social life, our work life, and our spiritual cultural life. And in a healthy social life, the whole human being is recognized so that the contribution of one's head, one's heart, and one's limbs matters.
We have activities, we have artwork, we have folk dancing, carnival every year. And music is a big part, a huge part in the village. The music is something that's breathtaking. It's like when you hear the beautiful music and you're like, oh, it's breathtaking. It's like no words to it. It's just so unbelievably beautiful and lovely that it brings people closer together.
We go straight on. Get our fingers all warmed up like that. 1, 2, 3. Good, together. Deep. Susan? Yeah. Let's be together.
It's just sometimes relaxing just to hear live music. We have lessons together. And then we try to practice once a day. Sometimes goes better, sometimes worse. I mean, we do various exercises. Strumming and playing a scale. Or there's a breathing exercise. And then we do an improvisation, try to follow the other ones. Then we work on a piece. I like it. It's really nice.
Like the 16 months with your mother living on.
A little darker. Not the whole thing, but where it actually stands and meets the ground. It's darker in that area. Okay, Ernesto. Each person here is an individual. And I feel like in this group, in this painting session, that each individual has the potential to be who they are. And that maybe in the outside world, that wouldn't be noticed. It wouldn't be so important to anybody that that person is who they are, and that they have a say, and they have a feeling life, and they have a thinking life. And I feel that Camp Hill gives the individuals that come here that ability to be something more, to find an avenue, whether it's through painting, whether it's through working in the gardens, whether it's through the weavery, whether it's through cooking, whatever it is. That person can really have a form of self-expression.
I like those cheese crackers. They're so good, these fishes.
Yes. We'll get a few of those.
I did the potatoes.
You look nice in that orange shirt, Patty. That is an outstanding shirt.
Let's see, Gitu needs a glass.
You need this shirt,
This orange one is outstanding.
Oh, thank you.
It's awesome. You know, orange is my favorite color.
You can't take it from me.
You know what? I'm gonna get an orange turtleneck.
Well, you can't steal it from me.
No, I'm not gonna steal it from you.
We try to use the social life that we build up together as a primary therapeutic tool. We're not seeking independence as much as interdependence. Social therapy is the term which we have begun to coin maybe in the last 10 years for the work we do in Camp Hill villages. We used to just call it village life. Social therapy is creating a social environment in which people can live together and share their life with each other in such a way that they have something to give and something to receive from each other.
Singing makes me happy, and that's about it. It really does. I just like to sing. I don't know why. It so happens that there are people who have a great voice and was born with a great musical ear. I'm one of them. Over to China with the Janet apart, oh, far away over the sea, oh, far away places with the place I'll be named, and they're calling from me.
I'm in 50 feet about, that's my
Gotcha.
I know.
We don't have television here. There is no television blaring in the living room. And so what happens is, because we maintain an open community, people go from house to house and sit and visit with their friends.
King of Spades. Forrester.
Well, there's no cotton picking television to watch here. Well, TVs is really so fun for me to watch at home when I'm in Manhattan. That way, then I can get CNNs, but not here's I don't. Here is not television stuff. I can't watch it. No Channel 7, ABC, Eyewitness News, and none of that. And I can't watch Wheel of Fortune or Jeopardy's. I'm so insulted.
I think many of us would become real couch potatoes if we had TVs in our houses. Just sitting around and watching TV every evening, I think it would be crippling for many of us. And I don't just mean the villagers, but it would for many of us. And there'd probably be a real conversation stopper, and we wouldn't do storytelling, we wouldn't do painting and other such evening activities if we had TVs in our houses. And so we have preferred to do activities that are more creative, less passive. In our house, we try to make that place feel like a home. And it's my home. It is home for all the people who live in this house. We have a sense for the aesthetic. The environment should be beautiful. We try to create an environment where people can feel at ease and where they can also give of their best.
Finish.
Put your good clothes on, because you're going to the hall today. And after the hall at 9:50, we go at 9 o'clock to the hall, okay?
9 o'clock to
Yes. So put on another sweater, not this. Put on another sweater. Not this. You have to look dressed up. You don't look dressed up. You have to look dressed up this morning. Then after lunch, you can change into your old work clothes.
Oh.
You shouldn't wear this. You should put on another sweater. I will remind you so you don't forget, right? You can go with me, okay?
She always just...
I think it's very individual for each one, how we all shine differently in the community. I know one person in my house gives many people a morning hug. And that is such a genuine morning hug. That's where she shines. You know, every day again. It's rich, very rich, our homes. And that all what goes on in homes. You know, just families, houses with 9, 10, 11, 12 people living together, children included, where one has 3 times a day the meals together. This is a kind of a way where one experiences the home still as a home, where each individual has its own place.
Oh, David, I said not to wear that. Wear something good. They're going to go to the hall to get dressed up.
Not now.
Yeah, at 9:15 after breakfast. We go into the hall. Then put this on. We can put this on. Yeah, we put this on.
Many people who live here will never get married and will never have their own family, but they live together with families in such a way that they can have this deep joy in watching the children grow up. And they become so connected to these children. They really become part of their family.
Well, Jakob is a very sweet boy, and I like him very much. He really likes being around with me a lot. It's very fun to be with him, and I feel connection with him. You know, I love children a lot, and I feel very, very important. That's why I suppose I like it here, that I really enjoy it.
Never mind the why and wherefore love can level ranks and therefore though his lordship's station's mighty, though stupendous being his brain, though her tastes are mean and blighty and her fortune poor and lame. Ring the very bells of fortune plenty and with morning one, for the union of his lordship with a humble captain's son, or a humble captain's daughter, or a gallant.
Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo.
We try to be a place of light in the world. We try to keep that light alive. I think there very definitely is a spiritual reality in our community. And people sense it when they come. They talk about the quietness and the peace. And it's a peace that we who live here have to work for because it escapes us. We get caught up in the complexities, the speed of our life, the hecticness of our life.
The religious life, I think, is throughout the whole year. Manifests itself in many different ways. It's really from the morning circle to saying the prayers at the table before we start the meal, to celebrating the festivals, to going to the service, to have our weekly Bible evening on Saturday evening where we again sit together as a house community, sometimes with invited guests, and really take a moment of peace and quiet.
Jesus Christ, He does not come first to us in water only, but in water and in blood.
and in the element air. The Spirit makes us aware of His nearness, for the Spirit is the truth.
Camp Hill is founded in Christianity, but it is not sectarian Christianity. It's not narrow, and it isn't at all dogmatic and saying this is how you have to be. We are religious in as much as we respect and recognize the workings of the divine in our lives.
We try to live a spiritual life. We try to be conscious of spirituality in our life, in the small ways as well as the big ways. And we know that all of the little things together create a part of our life as a spiritual community. You know when the community is the strongest, when a group of co-workers and villagers in their own way are working to try to come closer to the spiritual life of the community.
Thank you for the meal.
I'd like to welcome you all. First, I wanted to say that this year we chose to open our gardens to people living around in our area. In a month we'll be harvesting the roots. So it's a working garden. It's not a show garden, it's not a botanical garden, it's a working place. And yet also
many visitors who come here, you hear them saying, "Oh, it's so nice here, it's so peaceful, it's so beautiful." And we look at each other, us who live here, what are you speaking about? I don't experience that. It's quite an intense life. There's no time to breathe here. There's no... it's difficult, but it's rich. It's rewarding. And we are aware that we are working, for harmony and so on, but it's a very intense life.
Things can look beautiful and peaceful and harmonious and everything, and I think there's some reality to it, but it doesn't come just like that, and there's a lot of work and frustrations and intensity and meetings. There's a lot of work going on, and one has to learn how to work together, and that's not a given.
We all struggle. I'm not saying it's a bowl of cherries, not a bowl of ice cream or anything like that, but we all have problems. Kira is not always beauty. Sometimes it's horror. Sometimes you'll see people acting up. Sometimes you feel people fighting and not wanting to help.
You relax now. You relax now. I want you to relax now. Should we close the door? Should we close this door? Oh, he's vacuum cleaning your room. Should I tell him to stop? Should we stop? Have you been already in your room? He won't do your room. You leave the knives. Leave the knives. He will not vacuum clean your room. Okay? Leave him. Perfect.
No, this is no utopia. It's not for the faint of heart. There are certainly hard times that come through, but half of the population here only sees the good in you. And the other half is actually trying to see the good in you. And that's an incredible way to live. Camp Hill Village needs everything that anybody has. And so that means every talent, every skill, every minute of your time is needed by the village. That also means that you're exposed in every single way, too. You're exposed in the way you live, the way you think, the way you dress, the way you spend money, the way you raise your children. It's all exposed.
Yeah, that's nice. Nice to see you.
Just because they're villagers doesn't mean to say you have to love them. Don't for a minute believe that we automatically love every human being. I don't. I cannot speak for my colleagues. Maybe they all do, I don't know. But I had to learn really to love some of these villagers, to live with them, and to struggle with them, and struggled with them. And that is part of community. And you may never even get to love them in that sense, but certainly to respect them.
Okay, isn't that too bad that it's ice cream time? That is too bad, isn't it?
You don't want ice cream.
No.
You do. I got
It's just a whole lot to run a community, and we do it all by consensus, so it's not easy.
It was definitely a workshop which he should change from. So maybe we should start a healing plant garden in the morning, or if he comes at all. I mean, that's when no one doesn't even know when he can come.
They're very open to whatever we work out. It'll be up to us to determine.
Different aspects of the community's administration is carried out in groups. We try to work on a consensus basis. And if you try to get consensus in a group, you're going to have to meet, you're going to have to converse, and you're going to have to maybe thresh over some ground for a while so that everybody finally can feel at peace with the decision that's made.
Let's get settled. I think that'll be really good when he can see the scope and Jos wants to talk about the importance.
All right, good. Okay.
This too?
Yeah, put it all in.
The village is financed through a variety of sources. Some of our funding comes from SSI payments to the villagers. Some comes from the state of New York. But we're dependent on fundraising for about 40% of our running costs. So in order to keep the village going from one year to the next, we have to do fundraising. And that's quite a job, and it brings us into relationship with lots of different people. Certainly our first circle of support are the families of the people who live here.
Talk to you later.
Don't do that.
Later.
Later, okay.
You look adorable. What's this?
We all want our children to be happy and to be productive and to have friends and to be loved. And this is what Maria has found here in the community. It's brought her to a wonderful place where she feels happy and secure and loved, and so that she can love. I think she feels really relaxed.
A funny one. I know she's a funny one. You have a very nice roommate.
Yeah. Right? She has a sense of belonging, a sense of being important for the job that she's going to, knowing that if she's not there, that there's something missing.
Huh? You came by car?
Yes, I did. From New York.
Which car?
Bruce has been here 31 years and he loves it. He considers it his home, and when he comes on vacation to see me, he very consciously says to me, "Dad, I have to get back home." And people say, "Well, doesn't that bother you at all?" And I say, "Yes, it does. It makes me want to cry with happiness that he feels that way." I think there is an understanding of areas of responsibility in his own life that he would never have had with us, because there is a built-in patronization by the parent. I simply cannot treat my son as one of the co-workers can treat him. I can't do it even after 49 years. I am innately conditioned to treat him as someone who is different, who does not have the ability that I have to kind of help. They don't do that. They treat him as another person. They expect him to perform as another person. For all these years, I have been sorrowful that I have never been able to achieve this kind of relationship with my own son that they achieve. I see Bruce have a form of contentment which comes from having a sense of being accepted, not just tolerated, but accepted.
We have developed friendships with some world-class musicians who come to the village for a concert series for us. That's something they do because they love to come here.
Camp Hill has a kind of peacefulness but largesse of spirit that I draw a lot from just being here. When you play here, it doesn't feel like a performance to prove that you are worthy to be here. You're already accepted before you play anything. It's not a question of being worthy. There's a kind of sometimes it's very spoken, but I mean a kind of unspoken welcome. Camp Hill. It's blessed in a way. The blessedness, you know, sort of bleeds through from the intent of the people, the positive intent, and always looking for the higher aspects of the human being. The goodness that radiates here is so meaningful and so important. In many ways, these Camp Hills are guardians of some of the better aspects of our humanness.
Every Thanksgiving, everybody sort of goes to their families. And this was just the day before I was bringing Maria back. And we were talking about going back to Camp Hill. And just out of the blue, she looks at me and she said, "Everybody loves me." I just looked at her and thought, wow. I mean, how many people can say that in this world? Everybody loves me. That helps you to know what community can mean to someone like Maria, where she does feel loved.
Over years, you just come to love the place and love the people. Hopefully, we've come to see our place in the world a little and seen what we can do, and we've tried to help. People with developmental disabilities, I think, aren't always allowed to help with the world. You know, they're not seen as somebody who can help, they're seen as somebody to be helped. It's so moving to see so many self-respecting people. It's really moving what they've learned to do and who they've become.
My frustration is that the world is denying disability people, and we have to really give them a chance in life and stop being deniable for it, just because they're different.
I've worked and lived with many, many, many villagers. One particular individual who used to come to my house worked with me for 10 years. And one of his jobs, one of the very few things he could do, was, for some reason, he could clean a bathroom. He came every day for 10 years, 5 days a week, and cleaned that bathroom. And every single day, it was like it was new. These human qualities of faithfulness to life, to work, to whatever they are, human qualities of forgiveness, of unconditional love, these are qualities in society that are rapidly getting lost. And I think there will be in the future a need for communities like this so that villagers can ray this quality to society, and there will be people who will come and be fed by that.